Hey everyone, so I'm making a quick video here in case you have a PS3 controller that's all wacky. So I'm gonna turn on the sorry, not the PS3 but the controller, and you'll see the everything's gonna start going a little wacky. Buttons are gonna start. You see how things are starting to change, and buttons. I'm not pressing anything here. It's just doing stuff. Line changes in the hockey game. So buttons are being pressed without the controller being touched. You can see I'm not touching the controller. Things are happening. Line changes are happening. All sorts of weird things. Let's go back into... see, I just went into the menu and it just doing whatever it wants. It going into reviews, instant replays and everything. So I'm gonna show you guys how to fix this issue. It's pretty simple. I learned this trick a long time ago by fluke. So I'll show you guys how to do this. It works at least 90% of the times. This won't fix issues with analogs. If your analog's messed up, or let's say your D-pad, like it's going left to right or up and down or whatever, this won't fix it. But if random buttons are being pressed, the start button, select button, square X, the bumpers and all that, the L1, R1 buttons, this will probably get fixed 90% of the 90% of the time. So I'll show you how to fix it in a few seconds. So here's the video I promised you guys to complete. There is the controller here. I showed you guys I was acting all weird. I wasn't pressing buttons and it was just going haywire. So I'll open it up and show you guys what the problem usually is. Like I mentioned, this won't fix analog issues, but buttons being randomly pressed. So these controllers have 5 screws, so we'll unscrew them. And you don't need much for the fix. You need a Q-tip, or what I like to use is some kind of cloth. And I also use these shipping labels, but you can use any type of, I guess, paper or something that you're able to fold in a way to give a little bit of thickness. So we unscrew it, and this is what the inside of the controller looks like. For scrapping purposes, nothing too special in here. Very limited amounts of gold in these. So what the problem usually is this over here. Let me get a good, oh, there you go. So it's this over here. These get all corroded. It's by sitting around. Not really corroded, but they gunk up. I don't know why. There you go. So these pins here, they get all gunked up, and they get all, I wouldn't say corroded, but they pretty much just gunk up. So you have to clean them. And this here too, that's what you need the Q-tip for, and some rubbing alcohol. You can use a Q-tip. I usually use cloth. So what you're gonna do is just go over the the little connector pin things here. Then you'll do the same thing on this, and you'll see by doing this they will get cleaner. You'll see some of the black gunk coming off, some more than other controllers. So you do that. What you're also gonna do is you're gonna kind of lift the connector here, and you'll see there's this kind of spongy, foamy type of piece here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that piece of paper, or like I said, the shipping label, and you're gonna fold it a few times, and you add thickness to this foam. I guess you can even use another piece of foam if you can find spongy foam, but pretty much all you need is a little bit of thickness. So what I do is I take the label and I put the foam on the sticky part like that. You can see where you need to cut. So cut the label, and then I fold, take out the spongy material, and I fold it a couple of times. And that's what's nice about this. It's already sticky, so you don't have to really fiddle around with paper trying to get it to stay on. So you got the spongy part, the foam, with your little sticky label or paper or whatever you want to put, and you put it back in place like that, and then you put the connector back in place. See, there's the little connector thing here has two little holes. Put them in the plastic pins, and you put this bad guy, that, and you're good to go. Put the screws back, and let's test it out. I've had some pretty good success when it comes to this technique. Like that. We have everything good, ready to go. Ready to close up the controller. That didn't work. That's the one thing I hate about PS3 controllers. They're so, I can't say they're hard to close, but they're quite annoying because things tend to pop out. Unlike the Xbox controller, which is pretty easy when you take it apart to put back together. Everything feels good. Everything feels like it's in place. Let's screw this all back together. Screw back the 5 screws on the back, and you're good to go. So let's test this guy out and see if it's gonna start going haywire again. So we connected it. I'm opening the TV, which already has the game. Give me a second, I'm gonna pause for a second here. Yeah. Alright, so we have the game. let's go into game mode and see what happens. Until now, no craziness seems to be happening. Like at the start of this video, things were just going crazy. The L1, R1, L2, R2 buttons were just going crazy, and the X, square, triangle, circle buttons are being pressed randomly. And until now, nothing significant is happening. So let's go to play now. There you go. A little out of focus. Let's start the game. Pick the side. So if you remember, we were on this screen and things were just going crazy. Right now, nothing seems to be happening. So it looks like things got fixed. I just plugged in the controller because it's about to lose power, and again, nothing bad seems to be happening here. The D-pad seems to be working fine, the analog's fine, nothing's being pressed like crazy on its own. So like you can see, everything seems to be going really well. So all it needed was a cleaning. So if you have a controller that's going haywire out of nowhere, that's your main issue. As long as it's not the analog, as long as the controller isn't moving by itself. Like for example, the players here in this case, let's say you're playing a sports game, or even let's say a Call of Duty, the gun's not going crazy, aiming on its own, or the character moving on his own, you should be fine by just giving it a good cleaning like I showed you with some rubbing alcohol, a Q-tip, a cloth, and like I said, a little piece of paper to add some thickness to that sponge material to get a better connection. So that's my video for today. Hope you guys like it. Hopefully it helps a bunch of people save their controller. Maybe save 20 or 30 bucks by fixing the controller and not buying a used one. So like, subscribe. If you have any comments, those are always welcomed. Also, any suggestions, those are always fun. So, talk to you guys soon.